Liverpool's unbeaten league record at Anfield continues up to 62 now. A bit of a way to go. Still some 20-odd behind Chelsea, as you can see there. But you were saying, actually, when we were watching that, Liverpool are giving teams a goal start much more often than they used to, aren't they?
Sort of feels that way.
Yeah.
The perception is when you watch Liverpool, you sort of, you expect them to take the lead and then go and wallop someone 3s and 4s. But at the moment, they're vulnerable and they're going behind in games, which then puts them on the back foot. So there's always a little bit of stress, I think, when you're watching Liverpool these days instead of last season.
We've got to be careful with that, though, because, sometimes it's like when Man United were dominating, if you scored against Man United, you kind of made them angry.
Yeah.
And then they started to play and they started to 1-0 down. We can't be 1-0 down. Yeah. Let's go through the gears and show people what we really can do. But when you're playing against better sides, with all due respect,
the record's frightening, though, isn't it? The home record's frightening.
I
don't even think Sadio Mane's lost a game at Anfield in the league.
I know.
Since he's been there.
That's great.
It's quite unbelievable. But still, they're still some way behind Chelsea, who saw on that graphic. Dermot's with us this week. How are you, Dermot?
Very good, thank you.
Excellent. Let's
have
an
upgrade. Upgrade from Chris.
Anything's an upgrade. Anything's an upgrade.
That was Don and Dion who said that, Chris. If you're watching, I'm not saying anything. Let's have a look at the penalty that was given. So just remind everybody the law. The line belongs to the attacker.
No, the line belongs to the goalkeeper.
What I meant by the attacker was if you're fouled on the edge of the line, you get the penalty. That's what I meant.
Yeah. In essence, the line belongs to the goalkeeper, so therefore he can handle the ball on the line. So therefore, if the attacker's on the penalty area line, it's deemed a foul.
Chris wouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
It's so close, though, Dermot.
It is, and that's why you needed somebody to look at it. Mike Dean. You can understand why Mike Dean didn't give a penalty.
Yeah.
Yes.
With a naked eye, you would never do that.
What's the protocol there? We look at like offsides and we have the lines drawn across where you can physically see someone's offside or onside. In terms of that happening, either on the line or like literally a couple of metres outside the line, is there some device that you guys use, or is it just naked eye?
Naked eye. Somebody asked me on Saturday about this, and it's very interesting. If you look at his boot, they were saying, well, part of his boot's not on the line, part of his boot is. And I said, well, if you imagine that's a corner and you put the ball down for a corner, most times now you would say, when I played football, you weren't allowed to do that, but it overhangs the line. And in that situation, his boot was definitely overhanging the line.
Yeah.
So therefore, I use the same criteria.
But are you in I'll call it ref school. Now, are you in ref school when you something's in your ear and you get told to change your decision? Do you get taught to bring your arm as far back as possible, then go, penalty? Is there like a circumference that the arm has to travel back so you can...
You're like a javelin thrower.
Mike Dean's the only one that's learned that,
He does, yeah.
Goes like that.
What you have to remember, Dion, when I was reffing, the only people I had in my ear was you two.
That's true. That is true.
That's harsh, isn't
There
it?
was nobody else. And then we had a penalty shout against Andy Robertson. And is this the sort of interpretation the last couple of weeks which has really been clarified as to why this wasn't given as a penalty?
I just think, Mark, everybody's much more comfortable with this. You look back, this is almost identical to Lindelof, Manchester United against Crystal Palace, where it's a run in motion. It strikes him, he has no intention of handling the ball, you could see there. And token appeal by the Sheffield United player, but much more comfortable with that.
Yeah, we loosely say, don't we, in games and watching pens, and we always go, if that's given, the game's gone. Isn't it? It does. We just sort of say that, didn't it? It's just in our rhetoric. But when you watch that, as Derm said, it sits a lot better.
Yeah.
When you're watching that and you go, that is not intentional handball.
I'm just glad we've got rid of that one.
Well, also, it's the running motion, it's the proximity between where the ball was played and where it hits Robertson, which is very, very short as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it fits all the criteria, as you were saying.
The Declan Rice one, I think the Declan Rice one, and
And it's accidental. That's what I look at most than anything. When I look at Andy Robertson there and Victor Lindelof, it's accidental handball.
Completely. 1-1. They as we said, they poked the wasps' nest, hadn't they, Sheffield United, and back Liverpool came.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great crossing. What a ball in. He just misses out all those defenders at the sort of front post, and Mane hits the target. Great save from Ramsdale. But like any good striker, we know Mane's world class and he's behind the ball there. He's not offside, and it's a great finish. It's a great finish, and that's what Liverpool do.
He needed that, Dion, didn't he? Firmino.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's played well.
Goal.
He's played well, Don, hasn't he? But he hasn't got himself as many goals as he should now.
Not like the other two, is he? He's not the prolific goal scorer that the other two are.
It's okay to assist, but there has to come a time when you have to start getting your double figures in, and I think this is probably the start for him.
Yeah, I think you'd always give certain strikers, like Firmino and like Diego Costa, what they do for the team, their impact for the team, impact Salah and Mane getting goals. But there is a point, Dion, where you're watching games and you go, you do need to chip in with something.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise Liverpool might look in years down the line of getting a prolific number 9 in, but he does so well for the team.
Agreed.
Well, they'd had a sniff around Timo Werner, didn't they? And for whatever reason, that didn't come off and he went to Chelsea. Then Salah scored a brilliant goal, which was disallowed. It was just offside, wasn't it, Dom? Just. It was. But it was offside.
It was unbelievable
what a finish that was.
Dan, do you find it hard when you see a world-class goal? Do you find it hard as a referee going, oh, dear?
Sorry.
You heard me earlier when I said, what a touch, what a finish. You know, I watched it Saturday.
What a touch, what a finish, what a killjoy.
I was watching it Saturday and you're almost thinking, can you not bend the line?
Yeah.
It was such a great goal.
It was very tight, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
very
it was.
tight.
But it was offside. And then, actually, interesting with the winning goal, and you said it, and a lot of this in the last couple of years, I've heard you guys say this. Don't make it so easy to get the cross in. Stop the cross.
Yeah, and that's it, you know. The defending's so poor, especially for Sheff United, the defending's so poor. It doesn't get close enough to the crosser. Look how far, look at the gap between the defender and mine. Look at the gap, it never closes.
Goes to his wrong leg as well.
It's a token gesture. And you know, Jota's not the tallest man in the world and he gets in between two defenders. So the manager will be, really, really angry with his defenders there.
Yeah,
Terrible.
he's made it too easy for him, hasn't he, to get the cross in? Bulldog. Yeah.
Well, he hasn't gone close enough. When they do the analysis, when they're watching that back, Chrissy Wilder and his coaching staff, it's so basic where you say, look, stop the cross. Yeah. But he went with the wrong leg. He went with his left leg, which is really unusual. Normally, you block it with your right leg.
And you actually say, why weren't you closer? As simple as that.
You've got no excuse.
Yeah. Why weren't you closer?
Literally, when George Bulldog sees that again and he gets brought into the office and they watch the analysis back, and he'll know before he goes in there. He'll know what the manager's going to say because pros do. And then, the double down is, Jota's unmarked in the box. So even when you make the first error, Chrissy Wilder might say, well, I'm not going to let you off for that, obviously, but, you should stop the cross. Where's our defending? Jota's good in the air, but he's no 6'4" centre forward, is he? Gets in between the markers too easy.
And I think that's one of the... Whatever position you play on the pitch, there's a number one rule. And as a fullback, your number one rule is do not let the cross come in the box. That's the number one thing. If you find yourself in that fullback position, don't let the cross go in the box.
And I suppose what they've done is the worst thing to happen is that one mistake has been exacerbated by another mistake.
Correct.
So you allowed the cross to come in and then you didn't mark properly when it did come in.
Correct, which will make it even worse for the manager because they'll be watching that today.
Which is why they're on the longest run in the league without a win, Sheffield United. That's 9 now. How worried are you? I mean, you played there, you love playing there.
Very, because, when the fixtures come out at the start of the season, there was fixtures in there where they win. I think they played Leeds, I think Villa off the top of my head. So there was fixtures in there where you thought, well, that's when they'll turn it around. They'll take 3 points there. They'll get the season back on track. And I'm pretty sure Chrissy Wilder, when he's delivering his team talks, is saying, our season starts today. Let's get a win today and our season... Forget the rest of the games. But it's easier said than done when you're not picking up points because you're sitting in the bottom 3 and the pressure's on.
I think they know, though. I do think they know as players, they know that they're playing below where they have been, what we've been used to. Yeah. That kind of a horrible team to play against, they have stopped being, and they have to get back.
I know it's a bit of a cliche, but nevertheless, there's a reason the cliches are cliches. It's because they're based upon the truth. Have they been found out to some extent? It's not second season-itis, because, of course, it is the back of end of last season, even though it's the weirdest season, the weirdest year of all time.
Maybe.
Have they been found out at all?
Yes, they have, but they're not playing their way as well as they have done. So, yes, they have been found out, but they can still find a way around.
I think it needs a partnership up front now, where I thought Sheffield United were great last season when they mix and match their 4. Ollie Burke's been brought in. Rhian Brewster's been brought in. You've got Billy Sharp, got Ollie McBurney.
Champions again, Liverpool.